Hey, my name is Pam Sheyne. I am a songwriter, a singer, and a mentor. I am here to tell you a little bit about my career and songwriting, the craft of songwriting, my process. And we have the Ivors coming up very, very shortly. So very exciting. This year is going to be online, which is a little sad because it's such a wonderful social event, which I've enjoyed for so many years. I live in Los Angeles now. I lived in London for about 28 years, but it was one of my favorite days out, and I know it's going to be missed, and hopefully before too long, we'll all be back in the same room, which will be wonderful. I was lucky enough in 1999 to win one of these. They're very heavy. I won for International Hit of the Year for Genie in a Bottle. It was one of the highlights of my career, and I feel incredibly fortunate to have won one of these. It means a lot to a songwriter. We don't get paid a lot these days, or enough these days, and things like this matter. You know, they really matter. So I wish all the recipients the best of luck this year, and it's going to be a wonderful day. I just know it.
I have been writing for 25 years. Genie in a Bottle, I wrote in 97 a song called He Loves You Not for a girl group called Dream. Jessica Simpson, Seal, Corinne Bailey Ray, lots. I can't remember. Backstreet Boys, yeah. I was born in New Zealand, and so grew up in New Zealand. Moved to England as a teenager. Actually started work as a travel agent because my sister was in the travel agency. She got me a job for about 3 months, and I hated it. I was about 17, and my sister and my brother were living in the UK. My father had passed away when I was young, and so I went to live in the UK and hated my day job, so started looking for a job in Melody Maker, which is a music newspaper. I don't even know if it's still around. As a child, I played guitar and loved singing, was painfully shy as a performer, but I got involved in some talent shows and various different things. I loved it. It just was the other part of me that I just wanted to tap into, and so just naively looked in this newspaper for a job and found a 7-night, residency at a hotel in a band. I think I was underage to work in the hotel, but yeah, worked in a hotel band for about, 3 years or something. Got a Strat and a JC120, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So just a little bit about me. I started out as a singer and did cover bands. I did pub gigs. I did touring. I did session work for about 10 years. And then I decided I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to try and get a record deal and a publishing deal. The record deal didn't happen, but the publishing deal did. And my career sort of took off, getting the odd cut from another artist, so outside artist cuts. And I started making a living as a songwriter, in the 90s, which was a really, really great time to be a songwriter. I could earn a living just getting album cuts, which is something that you can't really do now. I worked as a singer with Daryl Hall, Bryan Adams, Mike and the Mechanics, the Moody Blues, Lulu, Tom Jones, Cyndi Lauper, Celine Dion, Tom Hadley, Belinda Carlisle, Dave Stewart, Elton John, and Beverly Craven. They're just a few names that I worked with, which was really an amazing education as a singer, helped me later on in songwriting. The last tour I did was for the Pet Shop Boys in 1991. We did a world tour, and it was one of the most fun tours I have ever done. And at the end of that tour, soon after that tour, I signed my first publishing deal. I started looking for a publishing deal and found an independent company that signed me and believed in me. The guy who believed in me, I ended up marrying. And he's still my husband. And it sort of helps if you have your husband as your publisher, because you can give them a good kicking when they don't give you enough attention on the business side. So that was my ploy anyway. We're still married. We don't work together musically so much anymore. He's gone on to do something else. But it was a wonderful time in the 90s for collaborating and going out and working with lots and lots of different people. And that's what I did. I collaborated. I really did a lot of traveling. I traveled to Sweden, to New York, to Nashville, to Germany, and just wrote with lots of different people, networked, tried to build my network. And I believe that really helped me build as a songwriter, get my name out there, and I started getting cuts. I started getting things happening. Genie in a bottle, baby, gotta rub me the right way, honey. I'm a genie. So Genie in a Bottle was written, I think, 97. I think the song is about not having a relationship for a long time and feeling like you've been locked up, and you just want to get out there and meet somebody that can really unlock you. And we wrote the melody and lyric in a day, and then we pitched it, and we had interest immediately. It was Paula Abdul, a girl group called Innocence, and Christina Aguilera. And Christina was the one that we went with because we were guaranteed first single. And they were ready to go with the record, which was just perfect timing for any songwriter. And we were just jumping up and down. It was out before we knew it, and started climbing the charts, and was the most incredible experience of my life. I grew up in West Auckland, and I think I had a dream about being an artist. I didn't want to go to school anymore. I just couldn't stand it. So I left for England. So I moved to LA in 2008. I had been coming back and forth to LA from London for a good 10 years more, 10, 15 years, back and forth doing writing trips. And we felt it was time to move here, because bands were the thing, and top liners like me, there weren't as many things to pitch for. So my husband at the time had been wanting to live in LA for some time, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. So we came over on a trip. We found a house. He said, I'm not going home unless we find a house. We found a house. Our son was ready to start school that summer, so we went home. We literally rented our house, sold our cars, and a few months later came out to LA, and we've been here 12 years now. And possibly could have been a better time to come. It was at the beginning of a rough time financially in the world, and a rough time because of streaming. And I found my community as a mum with a young child in elementary school, and I also found my community in a bunch of songwriters. A few of my girlfriends, my peers, we got together and started talking about what was going on with streaming and why our royalty statements were not looking so good. And we were rallied together by a real badass female lawyer called Dina Lapolt, and she rallied us and said, you guys really need to do something about this, and you need to stand up for yourselves and talk about it, because things are not good. The future's not good for songwriters. You don't have a union. Everyone's got a different agenda, and you need to educate yourselves. You need to collectivize. You need to get a load of people together, and we did. And it's a group called SONA, Songwriters of North America. We all started out as turner-uppers, shower-uppers, and we are now a board, an official board, and we were instrumental in changing the Music Modernization Act, which is great. We sued the DOJ. My name was on that. And it's been an incredible community to be involved in. And I love my SONA family so much. And it feels like we've got a seat at the table. We're actually doing something for songwriters, but we need a bigger voice, and we're looking for more songwriters to come on board and get involved and be a part of their community. So that's been a really great thing for me, settling into Los Angeles and feeling like we're giving back and doing something for the future of songwriters. So I'm sure a lot of you songwriters out there have been in Zoom land or working online with your collaborators, which is a lot more challenging than being in the room with people and having that energy to bounce back off. I have changed my process since the lockdown. I've not been seeing anybody. I need my engineer back because I have to learn how to record. I've actually started learning to record my own vocals, which is great because, we have to learn new skills. And my process now is to put in short spurts of time, like 2 to 3 hours, to get an idea going and rolling. And I usually bring a ton of ideas to the table to start off with. Now, I work on project-based stuff, so there's got to be a home. There's got to be an artist attached to it, or a specific project that I'm working on, because it's got a lot tougher to pitch songs out there as just a pure songwriter. So, I think I'm working smarter and faster. And as a top liner, you can work with anyone around the world these days, which is amazing. So it's opened up. I think we've all realized, that we don't have to run around so much and do so much traveling. And it's better in a lot of ways, but obviously that human connection is missed very much. So everyone has a different process in the way that they work. When I work, particularly on an artist track, I think it's important to hang out with the artist a bit and to get to know them and to find out what's going on in their life and what they really want to say, because it has to be authentic to them and they have to sell it. They have to feel it. So if it's an artist thing, I usually hang out. When we were allowed to hang out together, we'd have a cup of tea, have lunch, whatever, and then get into the feeling of whatever the track was, if we were writing to a track or writing from scratch. What kind of thing do we feel like writing? What is the mood? Sometimes the title or the concept would come first. Sometimes the chord or the track would come first. So it's different every time. But when I have a title, I usually like to write the chorus first. But just backing up a little bit, if you have a concept and you haven't, I find it really difficult writing from the top down without knowing where I'm going. And a lot of people do that. and it works for them. It doesn't work for me. I feel like I'm completely shooting in the dark. I need to know what I'm talking about so that I'm relevant. And I'll usually write the chorus first. That's usually the way it works. Usually the melody first, and then I put the lyric to it. And really try and do a good mix of detail, metaphor, and feelings and emotions. You know, the thing that I've learned over the years is that when you listen to music, you want to feel something. I want to feel something really intensely. I want to be moved by music. So I've learned that I want to have more humanness and emotion in what I write. So that's my goal as far as fleshing out a lyric that is really just sort of coming up with relevant lines. I like to talk it through in the room first so that, you know, you have a page or two of stuff to draw from. And that often helps when you've got the artist in the room, that you can actually talk it through. You know, they can be telling you a story and you're just like writing it down. Or if in my case, I work on a program called Masterclass, which has been really helpful. There's great sort of rhyming dictionaries and phrases and all sorts of things in there, which I love using. And once you've got a lot of information to draw from and you kind of know your title, so you're not, you know, blindfolded on the way, that helps me figure out. It's kind of like a puzzle. I enjoy puzzles. I think the job as a songwriter sometimes is to be the chameleon in the room, is to find out where you fit in the collaboration. You know, more and more people are getting together these days. Bigger groups of people are getting together to collaborate, and it's sometimes difficult to navigate. You don't know where, you know, you don't want to stand on anyone's toes, but you want to contribute and be a part of it. And I've learned to do that and figure out where I fit in. I'm good at organizing and keeping the energy flowing. And, you know, obviously I do the lyric and top line as well. So I think I fit in well with a producer and an artist who sometimes needs help articulating what they're feeling. And that can be a helpful thing to be as that person in the room. One thing that people don't talk about an awful lot is chemistry in the room, in a songwriting collaboration. And I'm sure many of you have been in those situations where the chemistry is just not good. And it's really hard to know what to do. You know, I've had situations where I honestly want to leave and feel really uncomfortable because of somebody in the room either being rude or completely glazing over every time I say something. Or, you know, it's a really sensitive business to be in. So you have to learn to be tough-skinned and try not to take it personally, because sometimes you're the person in the room that you know, maybe is more on the sidelines and has to let the others, if they've really got a good flow and it's working well with them, then at some point you're going to kick in. It's not always equal. And, you know, a lot of emotions run high in the room. So you kind of have to learn to fit in and try and leave the ego at home if you can. That always helps. It's learning to be a politician too at the same time, and bring your best energy to the room, and don't be insecure. Be helpful in whatever way you can. So about 2.5 years ago, I asked a really close friend of mine, Richard Harris, who is a songwriter and a producer, if he would like to team up and put together a songwriting camp. It was something that I really enjoyed doing, mentoring over the last 10, 15 years, and we wanted to do something that was educational. We wanted to do something social, building a network of people, and we were surprised that people from all over the world came, which was awesome. And we did it in Palm Springs at a really, really cool mid-century hotel, and had mentors come in each day, business mentors, songwriting mentors, producer mentors, come in and give their experience and tell their stories, and really sort of give our attendees hope that their dream was possible. So we have been forced online. Obviously, we had to cancel our camp this year, and we are, offering one-to-ones and critiques, and we're just about to do a sync camp with the Guild of Music Supervisors and Penn Music Group, and that is actually offering a more experienced songwriter hope to write to an open brief and work with a music supervisor online. So these are sort of active pitches that these guys are going to be writing for, and it's really exciting. We're looking forward to doing more of these, and it's just another thing that I do as well as write songs. A really great exercise for a songwriter is to deconstruct songs and find out what you like about a song that maybe you've heard on the radio or that's a hit record, especially the hits. We want to write hits, right? So it's, you'll start finding patterns. And when you break down all the elements, you'll just see them right in front of you. So it's often those big hit songs that have a common thread. You'll start seeing that pattern. As I say, it's the memorable melody, it's the unique lyric, and the angle of that lyric that stands out. It's the production, the unique production. It's the performance of the artist that really moves you. And the chemistry of all those parts that have gone into it, obviously the songwriters that have put that together. So keep doing that, and you'll bring new techniques into your writing, and it'll help you.
A moment for me that has always been really, really special is working with CeCe Winans, who I loved BB and CeCe Winans for years, and they've always had them on my Walkman at the time. It's showing my age now. Just adore them. And I got a call from my friend Adam Anders. It was a bit of an emotional time. I'd just lost my mum. My mum had passed away. We got married within 3 weeks of her passing away. I just had my #1 record. It was just, everything happens at the same time, I think, in most people's lives. And I got this call from Adam saying, are you coming back through LA? Because I'm working with CeCe for her record. Would you like to write with me? And I was like, yeah. So we ended up in a studio somewhere in Hollywood and wrote the song that did end up on her record called For Love Alone. And it was inspired by my mum, and I remember bawling my eyes out. Writing it with her and, talking through stuff and then hearing her voice on it. I was in Nashville on a writing trip, maybe a year later or something, and my publisher met for breakfast with him, and he's like, here's the record. So I went upstairs and listened to it, and it was a really emotional moment. But a really nice lady, lovely, beautiful soul.
And the other one was Seal. Always absolutely love Seal, and got a call from Christian Hansen, one of my dear friends, who had sent the song, because I wrote the song with Taita, the song called You Get Me. And the song had been cut several times, but had never been a hit. It was a really pretty ballad, and Christian called me one day. He was like, Seal's singing on it. He's singing the duet, and not only does he want to do the duet with this wonderful artist from Italy called Nina, like the Aretha Franklin of Italy, had recorded the song. She'd chosen Seal to sing the demo, with her as duet, the record. So then we hear that Seal wants to record the song as well on his record, and we were just jumping up and down. So that was a moment, listening to that back and hearing somebody, of that caliber on one of your songs. It's really an amazing moment. And later I got to meet him. I was in Spain on holiday, and he happened to be doing a gig at the Bull Ring. He was doing his Motown tour at the time. And so we went to meet him, and he came backstage because we knew the manager. And the manager was like, yeah, come, we'll introduce you to Seal. And he just recorded the song. And so he came, he literally was dripping. He came off stage with a glass of champagne in one hand, cigarette in the other, going, hi, oh my God, I love your song. And I just recorded it. And here, have my champagne. So, that was a really amazing moment, a memorable one. So if you're a songwriter and you want to extend your network, find more people, find more collaborators, be a part of your community, then seek out your community, join PRS, find out what they've got going on with their workshops, get involved in advocating for songwriters. We have to have a voice, and right now it's really needed. So join the Ivors Academy, support those organizations that support you. Between songwriting and being on the board of SONA, and also co-chairing the events committee on SONA, songwriter camps. I'm really busy, and I love doing a little bit of everything. I think it's smart these days to be a songwriter and do a little bit of everything. Write for sync, write with an artist here, write an ad. Use all your skills, because it's tough out there, and you have to find every opportunity that you can to keep earning music, so you don't have to get a day job and support your music career. I do have some tips for people starting out, or at the beginning of their careers. I sure wished I had had a mentor, certainly a songwriting mentor. I had some great publishers, some wonderful publishers who are still very good friends. And I think it helps to be mentored. I think it fast tracks you. I know that PRS and the Ivors Academy offer fantastic opportunities. So these tips: be yourself, be unique, tell your story, because that's what we're here on earth to do, to tell our story. There's only one of us. Be smart about who you collaborate with. I love collaboration, and have collaborated and learned a lot from my collaborators over the years. Write with people that have managers and publishers that are connected, and that'll help fast track you. Write project-based. Find what the end game is, where you want it, where your music fits in, whether it be sync or whether it be a specific artist genre. Do what you're good at, and get better, even better at it. Work with those people who finish and deliver finish and deliver those songs and make them the best they could possibly be. There's nothing more frustrating than not getting finished songs back and having to nag somebody to get them to. Be your own best advocate and your own CEO, your own social media expert. Build a team around you of trusted professionals who, you know, who become your friends and really, you know, believe in you and want you to succeed. But if you don't believe in you, then nobody else will. So that's really important, that you treat this as a serious business. The Ivor Novellos is a really important music event because it celebrates excellence in songwriting. I will miss it this year, not being able to come back to the UK, but I want to wish all the nominees the very, very best of luck. I want to thank PRS and the Ivors Academy, and have a wonderful event, and hopefully before too long we will see each other in the same room. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye for now.